While many may not understand what PTSD, what trauma, what cruelty, what bullying, while many may not understand what trauma truly is, someone telling me that because they never got raped, they could not sympathize or understand why it's so difficult in public spaces. I'm just fortunate that some are willing to say exactly how they think and feel openly. This is my cat Neptune. He was acquired by me after an abusive relationship. When a person stayed in my house way past the welcome because the words were request for a downgrade. So you don't want to be a husband, but I didn't except for the fact that this person has been using strategies that just never made sense, and that's trauma. While many may not understand what trauma truly is.
Nothing you thought you knew, you thought you'd need to know, I'm gonna teach you. I live with these two pussycats, Ivy and Neptune. They're truly just peasants. From mental health and great. Oh, it's not dramatic. Most of your absences just the real fears. You're going to explain it to me. Damn it. I hope to be for it.
While many may not understand
Alive
what
in the room.
trauma truly is. What Trump has effectively done is decided to not take responsibility for anything that happens unless it's a good thing.
In my discussions of this disease will look like in Illinois, my bedrock has been to rely upon science, real, actual science around infection rates and potential mortalities. In my discussions with these experts, I've asked for honesty and hard truths.
We are on our own at this point. So, Mr. Mayor, I take your point about the president's leadership, and a lot of people in this country would agree with you, but I just want to be specific because it's breathtaking and confounding to hear you say that you, the mayor of the largest city in this country, are reaching out to the federal government, and they're either saying we can't help you or they're not calling you back. Who specifically do you ask? How does this work exactly?
Gee.
And how are they not saying, yes, we are ramping?
This is a political thing because they don't care about people. And I'm sorry to tell you, but this wasn't my idea. This is the voices of my ex-family. The words were, hey, he doesn't care about a pond, but if it's a pond he fishes in, he's gonna traverse the length of the pond to pick up that Snickers wrapper, which I just ate. See? I just ate a Snickers. Because that was the memory on replay. Put it away. I don't make this shit up. Hey, Neppy. I saved you. You're gonna get disgusting money too.
Doesn't like his head rubbed. Yeah, he does.
So people with underlying conditions have to make choices, especially when they're making choices for their children. Diabetes, leukemia, cancer, hypertension, obviously COPD. Is that what it's called? Anything that can take away from your immune system to help fight this virus is gonna put you in a compromised population. So people have to make decisions. Also, what happens with your work and how are you gonna pay that mortgage? That's the question I'm always asked all the time. And I just say, well, I own my own house and I paid off my home a long time ago. So I'm just responsible for association fees and property taxes. I mentioned that because that's something my ex-husband was supposed to take care of, and that's why when he was here for years and didn't, I almost lost my house. Thank goodness I was able to read an email. I was avoiding any type of communication because I was being inundated with constant stuff, and it's really difficult when you can't read due to chronic dizziness, nausea, vertigo, vestibular, visual as well as that comprehension bit because you're constantly aware, wow, things are way different. Anyway, the point of this is to say, as PTSD triggers pop up, I'm going to take the opportunity to put them back down and return them to individuals while modeling a process I've been doing for a long time. Because I've already gone through several years of abuse of power administrative, let's just say ineffectiveness is the nice term, and how the union and aldermen, the community, families are all involved and with their emotions and as their way. You can be emotional, you can be upset, you can have fears, but it's also interesting when your words don't match your actions.
Well, the thing is, if you make big bucks
I was very
for
crystal
the
clear. You want to
decisions
downgrade?
you make, that means don't fuck up. You can
Get out of
affect
my
other
house.
people's
But
lives.
leave
You
the
are
cat.
gonna give up, and you're not allowed to press
And this
in
person
like
was
that.
not into that because he wasn't abusive. So his choice was to stop.
When you make a decision with precision, you gotta predict the things that could happen.
Leave.
Their tailspins, whether you recognize the cat here.
Or press in.
He's the lion.
And guess which he did.
Yup, he sings with me. Thanks, Neptune. Sometimes he finishes my tune. That's why I'm supposed to be. Person here couldn't handle their truth. That's why you're not allowed to be here, 'cause you abuse.
And I'd have occasion to come down here periodically and talk to the law school. And when I left 8 years ago, Stanford was one of the most prestigious, premier educational institutions in the United States. I come back to find that it is nothing more than a typical football facsimile. What I'd like to do, I'm happy you call it a conversation. What I'd like to do tonight is talk a little bit about where we've been in the last 6 or 7 years and where we are today and where we're going in terms of our priorities. And then talk a little bit about lessons I've learned, mistakes I've made.
And that goes into the investigation when a child talked about molestation and having to touch another child's body parts and being touched. I'm sorry if this is upsetting. Witnessing adults do their worst and then blaming the parents. Now that's the real hurt. Calling them crazy or weird or wrong. Well, I guess that just goes back to the original point of this song. Calling them crazy or weird or wrong. My rapist would sing to me.
What I'd like to do, I'm happy you call it a conversation.
And I would just think, well, can't you just sing to that person? The thing is, that's how I got my voice.
What I'd like to do tonight is talk a little bit about.
I made a choice not to tell anyone.
Then talk a little bit about
they use threats
lessons I've learned, mistakes
people
I've
in my
made.
life that I love the most. That goes into the investigation.
Where we've been in the last 6 or 7 years.
And they use technology to prove it. They could do whatever they wanted. So my decision was done, and they won.
Where we are today and where we're
but
going.
When a predator has your secret,
mistakes I've made,
then you might as well go kill yourself. Because I didn't know this, but instead I had all these people reminding me. Just look up. Check that steeple. You're beyond loved.
Alive.
Oh, it's disgusting how easy this could be, but the people.
That's an interesting.
It's the people that make it so hard. So I told y'all I'm singing to remind everyone that this happened to me. Do you remember, her singing? You occasionally. And that's why we're not some. And that's why I will never run. I will face everything. And here's the really sick thing: the guy would draw pictures after now fucking I'm gonna start me. So I went to England. So now I'm gonna start. I just let whatever comes up. So when I went to England, to be the thing that I will. I just let whatever comes up and why to be the thing that I will refuse to run from. Imagining what if they fall? What if they felt the darkness stuck that on these kids? What do you think happens when you don't have independence? How do you get to live? In a world that means you must eat, you must drink, you must pay your own way. Unless you've got a different strategy. My breathing is getting easier. I'm singing now, I explained it, it's her.
PTSD was
and now when I go to him,
what?
I hope you understand without saying a word. I'm going up and active cause that's 12 notes. Don't want to hear another psychiatrist, a doctor, a neurologist tell somebody, hey, it's you, you've got to cope. Not when I'm telling the doctor to their face. Hey, answer my question, because I do not accept superficial answers when it comes. And that's why I'm saying goodbye.
Need to be tested. Tests should not be for the wealthy, but for the sick.
Superficial answers when it comes.
All due respect, an entire NBA team should not get tested for COVID-19 while there are critically ill patients waiting to be tested.